Hi everyone, welcome to another video. Today I'm at Ascot Racecourse for Historics Auction. Really excited to be here. There's some really rare, spectacular cars here. There's cars all around the outside, as you can see, around this building, and also in the building as well. I'll be doing my usual walk around, featuring a lot of the cars, showing you around and seeing what they sold for. But today's video is a little bit different. I'm just going to show you around 4 or 5 cars that really interest me most. They're spectacular and really rare. So I'm going to do a bit of a deeper dive on those. Most of those are inside in the building, so I'm going to head in there and show you around. This is the star of the show for me. Aston Martin DB4. This one's a 1960, so what would now be called a Series 2. These were made 1958 to 1963 and just seem to go under constant development. So many iterations of them, subsequently called Series 1 through to 5. To be honest with you, I can't remember all the differences, but I think from Series 2 on, the hinging of the bonnet, for example, was at the front rather than the rear. I think this Series 2 got an oil cooler to help with the cooling. And I think Series 5 saw some of the biggest differences where they had bigger wheels, and it was, I think, a slightly longer wheelbase as well. Help me out here, as you can tell, I'm not hugely knowledgeable on this era Aston Martin, but just such beautiful cars. And this is guided at £350,000 to £375,000. Extraordinary price, really. I did see at Hampton Auctions earlier this year, there was I think it was a Series 5 DB4, and that actually sold for £416,000. So with that in mind, this looks cheap. Obviously extremely well maintained, as you would expect for these types of cars. There's some patina on the seats, but that dash looks absolutely lovely. You know, if you're being picky for £350,000, I suppose this seat has some damage. It's just, original, worn, as you'd expect. But just such a beautiful, iconic car. These were powerful, refined, and luxury all in one, I suppose. Yeah, I absolutely love these. A wonderful car, and can't wait to see this go through and see what it sells for. I was super excited to see this XJS Lister when I came. Really rare, these. Only about 20 of them, I think, made. Obviously this was a bored out 7 litre. I think they did a naturally aspirated 7 litre running about 500 horsepower. And twin supercharged, which was this one, 600 horsepower, 600 pound-foot of torque. Obviously quite a lot of modifications over standard XJS as well. All round, really huge body kit and wide arch. Looks brilliant. It's in excellent condition, this one. I've got a real soft spot for fast Jags with big engines, and this is probably the ultimate one. Different at the rear as well, aesthetics, rear buttresses different. And these huge rear wheel arches. The flare on these is enormous. Absolutely love it. A really iconic car. The engines had so much done to them. Forged pistons, more injectors, throttle bodies, obviously supercharged, different oil cooling, etc. The whole works, really. So this one was bought by the vendor in 2018, and it was a restoration project. Since had £25,000 spent on the engine and £45,000 spent on restoring the bodywork. And it's guided at about £110,000 to £120,000. Showing 12,000 miles on the clock. I'm not sure if that's since restoration or in total. Obviously shows some patina in here, but of course very good condition. As it should be with all that money spent on it. Yeah, absolutely lovely car. Quick look at this awesome V12. As I say, bored out to 7 litres. Quite a work of art here. So I absolutely love this car because it's a total oddball. 1992 Bentley Val d'Isère, based on the Turbo R. It's effectively an elongated estate Turbo R. It's got the same 6.75 V8. I believe I think less than 20 of these were made. 11 commissioned for and bought by the Sultan of Brunei. This is an ex-Sultan of Brunei car. A rare one to come into private ownership, or a non-Sultan of Brunei ownership, I should say. And they're really interesting, partly because they're so rare. When do you see an estate Bentley like this? They also had quite a strange four-wheel drive system. I think it was a hydraulic belt-driven system that has motors on the front hubs, I believe, and disengages above 30 miles an hour. So quite an unusual four-wheel drive system. Another unusual feature about it, this one's only done about 14,000 miles, and it's guided at 105 to 135,000 pounds, and it's in Sultan of Brunei colours, as you can see. Legendary for liking very, let's call them flamboyant colours. Yeah, look at this. Oh, it's just brilliant. All quilted. I'm not sure if that's actually meant to be kind of slightly droopy or not. I'm afraid I don't know. But yeah, what an amazing car. Yeah, definitely not one for the shy and retiring, but you're very unlikely to find another one like this. I've seen the rear of this chair. It seems to have an issue, as you can see, which is unfortunate, although it looks like it's fairly easily fixable. And it's just typical 90s Turbo R in here. All the switch gears the same. Just the colours that aren't. So let me know in the comments, would you have this or not? I'd absolutely have it. I think it's brilliant. I love an oddball car. So one of my favourite looking cars, this is a Mercedes 190 SL, obviously. This is an unrestored example, quite rare to see now, a very original condition one. And this is originally a West Indies, a Trinidad car. And it spent 4 years there before coming to the UK. And it looks reasonably good. You know, there's some minor paintwork issues. This rear window rubber doesn't look too good. As you can see, it's got the hard top on. Quite rare to see these with the hard top on at auction. They're usually open to the air. And just some marks on here, and I'm pointing this out, I am being fussy, and that's because the guide price is 75 to 95,000 pounds, so I think one deserves to be fussy at that price. Chrome work is okay, could do a little bit of work. But such an iconic design. I think these were made from about 1955 to 1963, and this is a 61 car, so fairly late. They came with the 4-cylinder 1.9 petrol, only about 100 horsepower, just over 100 horsepower, so relatively underpowered. I had a good rummage around underneath and was surprised to see it's actually in reasonably good condition under there, considering it's original and unrestored. There's some, there's just minor damage to the paintwork, nothing too major. And as I said, this window rubber could do with a bit of attention. It's been fairly well looked after, had some money spent on it, but obviously no kind of full restoration. But it's in very good condition for an original car. There's some stone chips around here that probably won't come out on camera, but what I would say is, the top end of these, I think, for a really nice example that's been fully restored and is, Concours type car, is probably what, 90, 100? So I can't see this making it anywhere near the top end of that estimate of 95. I love this era design, though, Mercedes dash. Very 50s, early 60s. pretty rare to see this light metallic blue colour as well. It looks beautiful. So you can see behind me a Jeep Wagoneer. I had to look twice because at Historics Auction in March they had an almost identical looking car actually, and you don't see many of these for sale at all, so I had to do a double check and check it wasn't the same one. It isn't, it's a different one. So these are really interesting. Jeep Wagoneer, obviously I think this is 1988, before the Chrysler takeover, and of course what makes them so unique are these kind of wooden panels, 5.9 litre V8 in this, 3-speed auto, and they just don't make cars like this anymore. It's great. So obviously the wood panelling all down here, it looks in excellent condition, this all down here. Yeah, lovely. Really nice condition. And the paintwork as well. It's a very American looking car, obviously, from a great era as well. And these have quite a basic structure, so they've got a body on frame construction, you can see here. So fairly old school, but quite a rugged off-roader. Obviously four-wheel drive, permanent four-wheel drive on these. But with the ground clearance as well, they were reasonably good off-road, I believe. And they also had a really, really plush interior. I mean, look at this lovely, beautiful leather interior. Held up extremely well. This is in excellent condition. You can see even the boot here. I mean, this really is a lovely car. You've got electric windows, this beautiful wooden dash. There's a bit of trim loose on the driver's door there. And these really plush, comfortable, soft leather seats. These are lovely. And this particular one came from Japan in 2017 and has been owned by the vendor since 2021. It's showing 11,000 kilometers on the clock. It's a Japanese car, obviously. I'm not sure if that's a genuine 11,000. I imagine it may have been round the clock. Yeah, and just showing it because it's, as I say, so rare to see these. So here's a bit of a bonus car at the end. I'm featuring this not because it's anything really amazing, outstanding, unusual. Well, it is fairly unusual, I guess, but just because I might bid on it. And I'm probably stupid for doing so. So obviously you can see it's an XJ40 era XJ, and it's a 6-litre V12, so fairly rare. They didn't have the V12s in these for very long. And this one is 1994. And it's a Japanese car. It came to the UK in 2014. It's done about 75,000 miles. You know, I'm only attracted to it because it's a V12. And as you probably know, I have a soft spot for Jags. It's not in perfect condition, but you know, it's in okay condition. I've just spotted a cracked lens at the rear. There's some kind of minor paintwork defects. It's got a boot full of spares. This is the worst bit of paint that I found. Underside looks pretty good. The rear looks excellent. I've had it running and it seems to run okay. So yeah, the 6-litre V12 as opposed to 5.3 chucked out a fair bit more power, well over 300 horsepower I think it was. And this one doesn't seem to have any rust underneath, all around the arches or the sills. You know, it has been in England a fair time, time enough to get rusty for sure. But it has been treated under here. Owned by an old guy for the last 4 or 5 years or so, and he spent quite a lot on it actually. Engine work, electrics, headlights. Yeah, he spent quite a lot of thousands and thousands, and it seems to run well. In here there's cracks in the veneer, etc. Down here as well. You know, certainly not perfect condition, marks on the leather, but if it goes around 5 grand or so, I may be tempted. I've tested all the electrics, the fans, the air conditioning, and everything seems to function pretty well. I'll give it a last check over. Engine bay seems very clean. Yeah, probably a very stupid purchase, but I may still be tempted. It's got new exhaust parts, As I say, quite a lot spent. I think the current owner bought it for 10 grand. It's no reserve now. He spent many, many thousands on it, just maintaining it really, and replacing what needed. But there isn't really much paperwork pre his ownership in 2021, which is a little bit odd, but there you go. It's a no reserve car. And a quick look here at my Jaguar XJ Super V8. Not going to feature this in depth, but it's going in. It arrived safely, and it looks all right here. So apparently there's been a bit of interest. We'll see. I'll probably take, to be honest, whatever it goes for at the auction. Speaking to the guys, they seem fairly confident it will make reserve, but you never know, do you? I'll be very sad to see this go. It's an excellent car. Best condition XJ Super V8 I think I've probably ever seen, and I've looked at quite a few over the years. Second one I've owned. So that was just a quick look around some of the cars that I found most interesting at the auction, in particular because there were some super rare cars there. Really, really interesting cars as well. There's obviously a ton more cars here. I'll be doing a video, probably a couple of videos on many more of the cars here, loads of different things. Obviously lots of Porsches, Aston Martins, Bentley, Rolls, JDM stuff, Fords, Austins, all the usual stuff at Awesome. Some lovely cars here, and I'll be running through in a much longer video with loads of those cars coming soon. Thank you very much for watching.